Hi, my name is Marianne Angélica, and I'd like to introduce my ordinary exam. I will talk a little about each topic that I saw in this semester, starting with what I saw in the first partial. In this partial, we saw four topics: passive with by, simple past; passive without by, simple present; past continuous versus simple past; and present perfect continuous. These four topics, which I will explain later. Passive with by, past simple. This was the first topic that we saw. The passive changed the focus of the sentence. For the simple past, we use the past of be plus past participle. For example, the Love Myself campaign was created by BTS in 2019. The second topic we saw it was passive without by, simple present. For the simple present, use the present of be plus past participle. For example, the one is used in most of Korea. Each topic we saw was past continuous versus past simple. We use the past continuous for an action in progress in the past and use the simple past for an action that interrupts. For example, I was having a lunch when someone accidentally spilled their coffee on me. The fourth and last topic we saw was present perfect continuous. Use the present perfect continuous for an action that starts in the past and continues into the present. For example, how long have you been trying? I've been trying since I graduated. In the project of this partial, we made a magazine using the topics we saw in the partial. The grammar focus that I used were passive with by, when I had to mention about things that created the K-pop group which I spoke about in my magazine. Also use past continuous and simple past and present perfect continuous. The present perfect continuous when I mentioned that one of the group members had left his activities in the group for a month because he had surgery for an appendix. In the second partial we saw participles as adjectives, relative pronouns for people and things, modals and adverbs, permissions, obligations, and prohibitions. Participles as adjectives. Some participles can be used as adjectives in either the present or past form. For example, present participles. Tojan's manuals are fascinating. Past participle. I'm fascinated by Tojan's manuals. The relative pronouns are used to introduce relative clauses. They refer to people or things by replacing the subject expressed in the main clause to avoid the repetition of it in the relative clause. We use who or that for people and use which or that for things. Modal and adverbs are used to modify a specific verb that consists of a linking verb of being, and something another verb. For example, modals. It might mean she wants to accept it. Adverbs. Maybe it means she wants to accept it. Permissions, obligations, and prohibitions. When we want to express permission, prohibition, and obligation, we use modal verbs like can, may, or could. In the final part of the second partial, we made a presentation in teams giving examples of obligations, prohibitions, and permissions. In this spread, my team gave three examples of each and mentioned some of these to you. First, obligation. You have to help at home. Permission. You can go to your dance class only if you finish your homework. Prohibition. You can't go to the cinema alone. In the third partial, we saw unreal conditional sentence with if clause, past modals, reporter speech request, and reporter speech statements. Unreal conditional sentence with if clause. This is a conditional type 2. We usually use were instead of was. In the if clause, even if the pronouns is I, he, she, or it, where here is a subjective form. Past modals. We can use modal verbs for deduction, guessing if something is true using the Available information, the model verb we choose, show how certain we are about the possibilities. Reporter speech request. A request is when somebody asks you to do something, usually politely. Reporter requests are one form of reporter speech. For example, original request. Arrive on time for the meeting. She said to arrive on time for the meeting. Reporter speech statements is when we talk about what somebody else said. We often use reported speech when talking about a conversation that happens in the past. For example, direct speech, my soul will be always with you. Reporter speech, Eddie said that his soul will always be with him. In the final project of third partial, we made a video in which we explain what reporter speech statements. My project I explain what is the reporter speech and what is it used for say that, and I get a six example of reporter speech statement with his direct speech. The first example it was direct speech. You can fly even higher. Reporter speech. He told him he could fly even higher. Direct speech. Go back to Japan. I don't want to see me like this. Reporter speech. As told him to go to Japan and that he didn't want him to see him like that. Direct speech. I never taught anyone to play the guitar. Better join the music club. Reporter speech. Munayama said he never taught anyone to play that guitar and that he'd better join a music club. Speech. Will you die for me, Tim? Reporter speech. Mafuyu said that he will die for him. Thanks for watching, and this is all for my ordinary exam. I hope you enjoy. Bye bye.